This original Senate chamber in the Maryland State House is arguably one of the most significant historical sites in the country.
Now they're trying to restore it about as close to the way it looked when it was built back in the 1770s.
Although it's been stripped down to its bare bricks, it's still a major stop for tourists in the State House.
It's the room where the Continental Congress met between November of 1783 and August of 1784. And on December 23rd of 1783, where George Washington resigned his commission as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, an event without precedent in really the history of the world. It's the same space where 2 weeks later, on January 14th of 1784, where the Treaty of Paris was ratified, formally ending the American Revolution, an event that made Annapolis the first peacetime capital of the United States.
The mannequin of George Washington stands near where he delivered his famous address to the Continental Congress, resigning his commission to the Continental Army. Nearby, a copy of his handwritten speech delivered that day. The original is stored at the Maryland Archives just a mile away.
Thank you. It's Joy. Hi.
The old Senate chamber is the scene of a celebration every year on President's Day, when the present-day State Senate convenes for a ceremonial session. It's at the same spot where so much history happened during the early days of our country.
This room reeks of history. This is a room where the Senate debated the 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the 15th Amendment. This is a room where the debates were whether or not they were going to join the Confederacy or whether to stay with the Union.
The room itself will be restored to as close to its original 18th century condition as possible. Architectural archaeologists are studying old paintings and plans. They've stripped numerous layers of plaster and paint to learn about the original conditions dating back to 1767.
This is going to be a space where we talk about Washington's resignation, the significance of that, the significance of the Treaty of Paris. We have John Shaw's late 18th century furnishings that will go into this room. And so there's a really complex series of challenges that present all of us, including trying to answer some of those big unknown questions, like how the gallery fit together, what the fixtures looked like, what color the paint was, and how the windows looked.
It takes me back to 1783, in fact, because all the plaster is off the wall as we try to figure out exactly the way the room was in 1783. It's almost as if I were here as they were constructing the State House, or at least furbishing this room. It is awe-inspiring to think that members of Congress met here, that Thomas Jefferson stood in this room as well. In fact, Jefferson was a part of the committee that welcomed Washington and provided the ceremony that Washington followed.
This has been a project in the works since the year 2007, but now they finally found the $6 to $8 million to complete the project, and they say it'll be finished before the legislature comes in 2015. I'm Lou Davis for State Circle.